have to interrupt you for a second because we have some breaking news coming in for our viewers, and this is coming in from from Karnataka. That and the information that we're picking up right now is that the BJP has been invited to form a government. There is a letter also that has been addressed to the DG Police, and the DG Police has apparently informed all of the police officers or police inside of Bangalore that the BJP will be asked to form a government tomorrow, and ahead of this, security arrangements have to be made. There are chances, it says in that letter, that the Congress JDS might hijack that event. So there is extra police deployment at BJP offices at the Vidhan Sauda and the Raj Bhavan in Bangalore. That's what the letter says right now. The BJP has been asked to form the government in Karnataka. Remember, viewers, it's been 24 hours, over 24 hours when all of this has been brewing, and in fact, in reaction to that, there is a high-powered Congress press conference that is beginning right now in New Delhi. Remember, we've got 3 confirmations so far on this information. Our reporters have confirmed it. There is a letter that has been sent to the police officers. We're going to cut across right now to the Congress.
The alliance has a majority in the legislature in Karnataka. Yet, the governor has not taken a decision to invite Shri Kumaraswamy to form the government. As we walked into this press conference, we heard that the governor may have invited Mr. Yediyurappa to form the government, but since no one is able to confirm it, I do not wish to proceed on that basis. We are proceeding on the basis the governor has not yet taken a decision to invite anyone. The question is why? What is standing in the way of the governor extending an invitation to the leader of the alliance, who has clearly demonstrated that he commands the support of the majority? Earlier this evening, the Congress and the JDS offered to produce their MLAs physically before the governor, but they were denied permission. The leaders of the Congress and the leaders of the JDS met the governor, gave him the list of members, which together makes for a majority, gave him a copy of the judgment in Chandrakant Kavalekar, decided by the Supreme Court on the (14th of March 2017) in the Goa case, and said this is the law. This is the law declared by the Supreme Court. And the law declared by the Supreme Court is binding on all authorities in India under Article 141 of the Constitution of India. All that I wish to say now is, the governor holds an exalted constitutional office. He should not walk on a perilous path which is illegal. He is bound by the Supreme Court judgment. He is bound to invite the leader of the alliance that has been formed and presented to him as an alliance which commands the majority of the members in the Legislative Assembly. We sincerely hope that there will not be another outrage on the Constitution. We sincerely hope that the old British saying, the foot of the Chancellor prevails. Law cannot change according to the foot of the Chancellor is an old British saying. Let the governor be Chancellor of universities. Let him not become here the Chancellor whose foot moves in whatever direction that is convenient. There's only one way in which the governor can uphold the Constitution, and that is by inviting Shri H.D. Kumaraswamy to form the government with the support of his legislators and the support of the Congress legislators. We are here to answer questions, but before that, Mr. Sibal may wish to say something, perhaps in Hindi.
आपको मालूम है कि कर्नाटका में इलेक्शन के बाद पोस्ट पोल अलायंस के द्वारा कांग्रेस पार्टी ने जेडीएस के साथ फैसला किया है कि जेडीएस और हम इकट्ठा सरकार बनाएंगे और कुमारस्वामी साहब चीफ मिनिस्टर होंगे। और आपको मालूम है कि चाहे गोवा हो या मणिपुर हो या मेघालय हो, तीनों प्रांतों में हम सिंगल लार्जेस्ट पार्टी थी, लेकिन फिर भी राज्यपाल ने जिसकी बहुमत है उनको बुलाकर शपथ दिलवाई थी। और इसमें जैसे चंद्रमन साहब ने आपको बताया कि सुप्रीम कोर्ट का फैसला भी है, और वो फैसला गोवा के संदर्भ में है, जहां आपको मालूम है हम 21 में से 13 हमारी थी, 17 हमारी थी, और फिर भी सरकार पारिकर साहब ने बनाई। तो वही और सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने ये कहा कि क्योंकि नंबर सिद्ध हैं इसलिए सरकार उनको बनाने का हक है। वो फैसला सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने सुनाया है, वही लागू होना चाहिए, कर्नाटका में लागू होना चाहिए। लेकिन दुख की बात यह है कि वहां के राज्यपाल ने ये बात, हालांकि हमने ये भी चिट्ठी भी दी उनको और ये भी कहा कल कि हम सारे अपने मेंबर्स पेश भी करते हैं उनके सामने, उन्होंने हमारी राय नहीं मानी। और सुनने को आ रहा है कि उन्होंने अभी ये कहा है कि बीजेपी को मौका मिलना चाहिए सरकार बनाने का। हालांकि ये ऑफिशियल नहीं है, इसलिए हम उस पर नहीं जा सकते, लेकिन राज्यपाल का कर्तव्य है कि संविधान का उल्लंघन नहीं हो। राज्यपाल का कर्तव्य है कि जो फैसला सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने सुनाया है वो लागू होना चाहिए। और मैं इतना ही कहूंगा, ये दुख की बात है कि जब राज्यपाल के सामने हमारी मेजॉरिटी खड़ी है, फिर कुमारस्वामी को अनुमति नहीं देनी सरकार बनाने की। मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि राज्यपाल जी या कुछ ऐसी ताकतें काम कर रही हैं जिसके द्वारा लग रहा है कि बीजेपी को एक चांस मिल रहा है पोचिंग का। मन की बात अब धन की बात होने वाली है, और अगर ऐसा होगा तो निश्चित रूप से संविधान का उल्लंघन होगा। और राज्यपाल एक ऐसे पद पे बैठे हुए हैं, उनको ध्यान में रखना चाहिए कि सिद्धांतों के, संवैधानिक सिद्धांतों के द्वारा ही उनको आगे बढ़ना चाहिए। और ये अगर उन्होंने ऐसा फैसला किया है और ये मौका भाजपा को दिया है, तो इसके पीछे केवल एक ही सोच हो सकती है कि किस तरह से तोड़ फोड़ की जाए, किस तरह के धन का इस्तेमाल की जाए, किस तरह से पोचिंग की जाए, और वक्त मिले उन लोगों को जो संविधान का उल्लंघन करके सरकार बनाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद।
संक्षेप में मैं ये बोलना चाहूंगा कि इस सरकार ने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का जो पतन किया है वो कभी इसके पहले इस रूप में नहीं देखा गया। इंस्टीट्यूशनल डिवैल्यूएशन जो हमने इस सरकार में देखा है वो कभी पहले नहीं देखा है, चाहे वो कार्यपालिका हो, विधायिका हो, न्यायपालिका हो। सब जगह इस सरकार का जो एक एग्रेसिव मोड है वो इस देश के लिए एक बहुत बड़ा खतरा है। और आज हम जो कर्नाटक में जो ये नाटक देख रहे हैं वो उस खतरे का एक छोटा सा प्रतीक है, जो कि रिपीटेडली अलग अलग स्टेट्स में रचा जा रहा है। तो आज जो सिब्बल साहब ने कहा, चिदम्बरम साहब ने कहा, उससे हम लोग सब सहमत हैं और एक प्रकार से हम लोग डिटर्मिन्ड भी हैं कि इन फोर्सेस को, इन गलत कार्यवाहियों पे हम लोग निश्चित रूप से पूरी तरह से संघर्ष करेंगे।
सर, जो खबरें आ रही है कि राज्यपाल ने बीजेपी को न्योता दिया है सरकार बनाने के लिए येदियुरप्पा जी को, अब आप लोग के पास ऑप्शन क्या बचता है? कोर्ट जाएंगे या राष्ट्रपति के दरवाजे पर जाएंगे?
देखिए, ऐसा है कि कई रास्ते हम अपना सकते हैं और जो आपने बात कही, दोनों रास्ते अपना सकते हैं। अब जब पूरी तरह से फॉर्मल फैसला आएगा तब हम तय करेंगे कौन सा रास्ता अपनाना है। नहीं, देखिए, कोई अगर राज्यपाल अगर संविधान का उल्लंघन करता है तो निश्चित रूप से कहीं ना कहीं से तो दबाव है।
जैसा कि समय भी आ चुका है और ऑलरेडी डिक्लेयर हो चुका है, तो आपने बोला कि कई ऑप्शन, किस ऑप्शन को आप ऑप्ट करेंगे?
मैंने बोला ना कि फॉर्मली जब तक ये फैसला हमें मालूम नहीं होता तब तक हम कैसे तय करें कौन सी ऑप्शन करेंगे। मैंने कहा ना, जब फैसला हमें फॉर्मल तरीके से बताया जाएगा तो हम तय करेंगे क्या, कैसे करना है, क्या करना है।
No, that's not correct. The governor can't take a decision that's totally unconstitutional and then for a political party to contend that it is not reviewable by the court is simply unacceptable. So we'll wait for the governor's decision. In the Goa case, for example, the governor gave Mr. Manohar Parrikar a certain number of days to prove his majority. But the Supreme Court reviewed that decision and directed that the vote shall be taken within 2 days. So to say that a governor's decision is unreviewable or beyond judicial review is not correct. See, unless we see and read the official announcement of the governor, we are not going to comment on the options or option that we will pursue. As Mr. Sybil said, there are several options. There are options between now and tomorrow morning. And let us see what the governor's decision is, because no one is able to confirm that there is an official statement from the governor's residence. Yeah, Karnataka BJP is now taken over the governor's house, I think. We are talking about the governor. We are not talking about the Karnataka BJP. Let's wait when Karnataka BJP becomes the governor, then we will talk about them. See, Mr. Kumarasamy has indeed made that statement. I assume he has made that statement based on material and evidence. Why should I, sitting in Delhi, doubt that statement? How will a party which does not have a majority manufacture a majority? I ask you to consider that question. Somebody who does not have a majority will overnight or in 2 days or 3 days manufacture a majority. The only way it can be done is buying other MLAs. I mean, that's common sense, isn't it? Which is precisely what Mr. Sibal said. The governor is constitutionally bound to prevent such poaching. If the governor invites anyone but Mr. Kumaraswamy, then he's encouraging poaching, he's supporting poaching. Your question contains the answer. How can a minority become a majority unless you poach?
ऐसी भी खबर आ रही है कि चीफ जस्टिस से मिलने के लिए कांग्रेस के लोग गए थे, क्या बातचीत हुई है क्या?
किससे मिलने के लिए गए थे? कौन गया था चीफ जस्टिस? ऐसे कौन? ये तो कुछ और लोग ही जा सकते हैं, हम तो नहीं जा सकते।
अगर आप लोगों ने लेटर सौंपा है राज्यपाल को अपने समर्थन का, तो वो लेटर पब्लिक क्यों नहीं करते? कितने विधायकों का सिग्नेचर है आपके पास?
नहीं, हमने कांग्रेस पार्टी ने लेटर दिया है भैया, कोई जरूरत नहीं होती विधायकों की। जब लीडर ऑफ कांग्रेस पार्टी सिग्नेचर करके लेटर सौंपता है तो इसका मतलब कांग्रेस पार्टी समर्थन कर रही है। सिग्नेचर की किसमें की जरूरत थोड़ी ना।
Please understand, every candidate is elected on the ticket of a party. And when the election commission declares the election, he declares candidate of this party has been declared elected. And the official release of the election commission says which party each one belongs to. The leader of the party, when he's elected as a leader of the legislature party, he gives a letter saying, I command the support of X number of members. You don't have to produce the Aadhaar card of each member or any other identification. The election commission's result is the official result, isn't it?
I think we answered this question yesterday, but let me reiterate. 117 was the strength of JDS and Congress party and other people who were supporting. And yesterday it was submitted. Where is the question of a doubt on that, as Chidambaram Sahib has said? आदरणीय साथी, न केवल दस्तखत पर मैं आपको बताना चाहूँगा कि जेडीएस और भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस ने आज फिर आदरणीय महामहिम साहब को कहा कि न केवल दस्तखत, हम 117 के 117 लोगों को आपके पास पेश करने को तैयार हैं, क्योंकि वही बहुमत है। और भारतीय जनता पार्टी के पास ना बहुमत था, ना बहुमत है, और ना उन्हें कर्नाटक की जनता के द्वारा बहुमत दिया गया। गवर्नर साहब ने उनकी फिजिकल परेडिंग से इनकार कर दिया, तो हमने मान लिया कि हमारा पत्र जिसमें लिखा है कि 117 साथियों का, विधायक साथियों का समर्थन इस पोस्ट पोल कोएलिशन को है, उन्होंने ये स्वीकार कर लिया। और अगर गवर्नर साहब को कोई शक है तो जेडीएस और भारतीय राष्ट्रीय कांग्रेस उन 117 लोगों को आइडेंटिफिकेशन के लिए, शिनाख्त के लिए गवर्नर साहब के पास पेश करने को तैयार हैं। इसमें कोई शक शुबा का प्रश्न पैदा नहीं होता।
That's the law. That's the latest declaration of law by the Supreme Court on 14th of March 2017. There is no subsequent statement of law. And that statement of law binds everyone. The Supreme Court has affirmed that if there is a post-poll coalition and that post-poll coalition numbers prima facie show there is a majority, they are entitled to be invited and they're entitled to prove their majority in the House. If that's the law, that law binds you, that binds me, that binds Mr. Yediyurappa, that binds the governor of Karnataka.
The problem is the following. There is no doubt that we have the majority. The Congress and the JDS have the majority. There is no doubt about it. So it was the constitutional duty of the governor to have called upon Kumaraswamy to give him the oath of office, administer the oath of office, and ask him to prove his majority. That's the law laid down by the Supreme Court. Now, that's judicial precedent. But what the governor is creating, if he is creating, is a political precedent. right? We go by judicial precedents, not by political precedents to serve the purposes of a particular political party. And if the governor does that, and we hope he will not, then what is happening is that the office of the governor and the oath that he took to that office, he discards the judicial precedent and seeks to create a political precedent.
पार्टी नरम है।
लास्ट क्वेश्चन सर, एक बार आपको इसलिए के तैयार किए हैं, बीजेपी के पास नंबर्स नहीं, तो आपको क्या लगता है कि गवर्नर की मंशा क्या लगती है आपको? आप भोजपुर हैं, क्या आपकी बात हुई आपका?
See, we've already answered the question. We still hope that the governor will follow the only path open to him, the constitutional path, the legal path. If he wants signatures of MLAs on a piece of paper, the Congress and JDS are willing to give him that sheet of paper. If he wants to physically meet MLAs, we've offered to physically produce MLAs. We sincerely hope, as Mr. Sibal said, that the governor will remain loyal to the Constitution. But if the governor acts otherwise, as we said, options are open. Thank you.
But you know, my point.
All right, you're watching the Urban Debate on Mirror Now. Viewers, that was the Congress party in New Delhi having a press conference with their senior most legal members, and the visuals that you're looking at on your screen are the Congress MLAs. DK Shivkumar, they're sitting next to the driver on that bus. This is when the Congress MLAs loaded themselves into a bus and went off to what was called an undisclosed location to sort of cut off their MLAs and prevent them from being poached by the BJP. So this is where we are right now. Viewers, we want to just offer some clarity to the people watching at home as to what kind of information we have and do not have. Now, this has been a complete and total frenzy of information feeding in the media. There are sources of information coming from all over. I do realize that there are several channels right now putting out information that that Yediyurappa would be sworn in tomorrow at 9 a.m. or that Yediyurappa has been invited by the governor to form the government or to be sworn in as chief minister. On Mirror Now, I want to put it completely and clearly on record that we have no confirmation from the governor's office or from the secretary of the governor that any sort of this invitation has been sent out to either the BJP or the JDS. There has been no invitation that has been sent out from the governor's office whatsoever. It is possible that the media is reacting to source-based information, and remember, there might be parties leaking information because it puts more pressure on the MLAs in the other side. Now, I'm going back to this one more time. We do not have confirmation from the governor's office or the secretary of the governor, whom we're speaking with on a constant basis, who has, on our last conversation, told us categorically that no invitation and no letter has been released. And if that has not happened yet at 8:49 p.m., we do not confirm to you any sort of swearing in tomorrow morning at 8:30 or at 9 o'clock. Now, this is the kind of information that has come out. There has been a leak of an intelligence letter between the police. The police intelligence has informed other police officers that there may be some sort of swearing in tomorrow, so be on guard. From what we understand, this happens between the police a lot. That's one piece of information. There was a tweet put out by a former minister, a leader of the BJP in Karnataka, which has now been deleted, so I'm not going to read that tweet. And thirdly, we know the press conference that you just heard, which was basically the Congress party reiterating that it believes the right thing to do would be to call on the JDS and the Congress. Now, in the studio with me, I have Tanvi Shukla and Vinay Tiwari, and we have Mandar Fanse, who's on the ground right now. And I want to make it very, very clear, repeatedly clear, that we will confirm to you when we receive formal communication from the governor's office, and we have not received that so far. Mandar, any sort of confirmation at all other than the press conference from the Congress? We know there's leaking information, but any official confirmation?
Not at all. We have been in touch continuously with the governor's office and even the Vidhan Sauda's various officials. So as of now, I don't want to disclose the names and other things of the
What is this on
officials.
the
But
bottom?
for sure, Faye, there is no confirmation until now. And of course, whenever there will be the procedural confirmation done, the letters will be flown in to the respective political parties, and then only the communication will be established. So as of now, whatever is happening, even on the BJP official Twitter handle, they had announced this particular thing for tomorrow morning 9:30, but then they have also deleted this particular tweet. So that shows how crazy this particular moment is all about, and that is just because the decision is not coming in as anticipated. At the same time, right now I am in BJP office. All the media here is waiting for the official confirmation. Shobha Karandlaje is here in the office. Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan is in the office. JP Nadda is also here in the office. Mr. Prakash Javadekar just now, almost 20 minutes back, has gone to meet Mr. Yediyurappa at his residence. I have asked Mr. Prakash Javadekar repeatedly that is there any news confirmation about this thing. He has just refuted all those things. That means as of now the communication has not happened from the governor's house to BJP.
Right, Mandar, many thanks for bringing us that information. As of now, there's no confirmation, viewers, from the governor's house at all that such a letter has been sent out. A very, very interesting press conference by the Congress party. Did they jump the gun as well, or do they know something that we don't know?
No, the Congress's press conference is nothing but an attempt to build pressure through two of their senior-most legal luminaries. Both Mr. Chidambaram and Mr. Kapil Sibal are very senior legal counsels. They appear as senior counsels in the Supreme Court. Obviously, they have done it because right now the governor is in the process of consulting such legal experts, and consultation happens with a wide variety of legal experts. This is their attempt to build pressure on two alternate narratives that are currently going. Remember, there are precedences of both types and rulings of both types as well, and every political formation is quoting the one which suits them. And that's the reason why it is important for them to throw their weight in the ring, pretty much, to suggest that that's not the only narrative. There is another way of reading the same judgment. The reason why they went around quoting the Goa judgment of the Supreme Court is because Goa judgment can be read both ways. The Congress is reading it one way, the BJP is also reading it, but in another way. And there are a lot of judgments which can be read both ways, and that's really why they did this press conference, and at this time when the governor is in the process of doing it.
Well, I also want to ask you another thing. The letter that we had from the police, which was a letter in Kannada that we had to translate, basically said, and for the benefit of our audience, said that we have heard that there may be an invitation to form a government tomorrow. In that case, there may be workers of opposition parties who might get upset. So we want you to be on guard at Raj Bhavan, at Vidhan Sauda, and at all other political offices. Just make sure that there is good this thing. Is that a clue that a letter will be sent out, or is that routine for police to do?
There is a background which I think the viewers should be told to help them explain why this kind of a letter has even become public. It's very necessary for viewers to understand that, because I don't think people or a lot of viewers probably understand the political skullduggery that happens behind the scenes. It is routine and normal for intelligence heads of various states to send advisory letters to their state units on apprehending a particular law and order problem. That's normal. What is not normal is that gets leaked very quickly. And that's where the game is. I think a lot of viewers might be a little confused about why since afternoon there have been various reports multiple times about one particular party being invited to form the government.
Yes.
There is a reason for that.
Yes.
In a closely contested election where three party formations are in a position to make a government, every single MLA is valuable. He's in gold. His weight is worth in gold,
or
pretty
crores.
much, or crores. If you remember, in the afternoon there was one particular MLA who was earlier with the BJP camp and then was physically taken away to the other camp.
Yes.
By constantly leaking information about who has been invited to form the government, first you take advantage
Sorry,
of that.
I'm just going to go across. Kumaraswamy speaking with the press right now. We just want to listen in.
ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆ ನೀವು ಯಾರು ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಇವತ್ತು ಅವ್ರ ನಡವಳಿಕೆಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಾಗ ಯಾರು ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೂ ಅರ್ಥೈಸ್ಬೋದು ಇಲ್ಲಿ. ಅದರಿಂದ ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಈ ಒಂದು ಸುರೇಶ್ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಅವರೇನೋ ಪೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಒಂದು 4 ದಿವಸ ಖುಷಿ ಪಡ್ಬೋದು, ಖುಷಿ ಪಡಲಿ. ನಂದೇನು ಅಬ್ಜೆಕ್ಷನ್, ಮುಂದಿನ ನಡೆ ಏನಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ದೇಶದ ಹಲವಾರು ಪ್ರಾದೇಶಿಕ ಪಕ್ಷಗಳ ನಾಯಕರ ಒಂದು ಭಾವನೆ ಏನಿದೆ, ಆ ಭಾವನೆಗೆ ಸ್ಪಂದಿಸಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಬೆಂಬಲ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ನನ್ನ ನಡೆ ಏನು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಮಗಳ ಮುಂದೆ ನನ್ನ ಭಾವನೆ ಇಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಹಲವಾರು ವಿಷಯಗಳನ್ನು ನಾನೇನು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮುಂದೆ ಇಡಬೇಕು. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಕನ್ನಡ ನಾಡಿನ ಜನತೆಗೆ ನಾನು ಕೆಲವು ಸಂದೇಶವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ನನಗೆ ಭಾಳ ನೋವಿದೆ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಕನ್ನಡಿಗರ ಸ್ವಾಭಿಮಾನ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಕರ್ನಾಟಕದ ಜನತೆ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಂಥ ನಿರ್ಧಾರಗಳೇನಿದೆ, ಯಾವ ಆಧಾರದ ಮೇಲೆ ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನಾನು ಇನ್ನೂ ಅವಲೋಕನ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನನಗೆ ನಾನೇ ಆತ್ಮಾವಲೋಕನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಏನು ತಪ್ಪಿದೆ, ನಾನೇನು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ಇನ್ನೂ ಈ ನಾಡಿನ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಭಾಗದ ಜನತೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಬೆಂಬಲಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾವ ಕಾರಣಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ನಿರಾಕರಣೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ನಾನು ಏನು ತಪ್ಪು ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೇನೆ, ನನ್ನಿಂದಾಗಿರೋ ತಪ್ಪೇನು, ನಾನೇ ಆತ್ಮಾವಲೋಕನ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋತಾ ಇದ್ದೇನೆ. ನೋಡೋಣ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಕಳೀಲಿ ಏನೇನಾಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಸರ್, ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರು ನಾಳೆ ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿಯಾಗಿ ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಸಂತೋಷ. ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು
ಅದು ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೇನು ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನನಗೆ ವಿಷಯವೇ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಇನ್ನೂ ಅನುಕಂಪ ಗಿಟ್ಟಿಸ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಹುಶಃ ಹೊರಟಿರಬಹುದು.
ಏನಾದರೂ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ವಚನ ಸ್ವೀಕರಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ
ನನಗೆ ಬಂತಿದೆ ಪ್ರಪೋಸಲ್ಲು. ನಾಳೆ ದಿನ ಅವರೇನಾದರೂ ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರು ಈ ರೀತಿ ತೀರ್ಮಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದರೆ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಮಟ್ಟದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು 8-10 ಲಕ್ಷ ಜನ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಒಂದು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನಾ ರ್ಯಾಲಿ ಹಮ್ಮಿಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನನಗೆ ಸಲಹೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಂಥವ್ರಿಗೆ ಒಂದೇ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ಜನರನ್ನು ಸೇರಿಸಿ ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಈ ಸಮಾಜವನ್ನು ಒಡೆಯತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸ ನಾವೇ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಅದರ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರು ಒಂದು ಅವಕಾಶ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರು ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು. ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ವಾಮ ಮಾರ್ಗವನ್ನು ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ತರಬೇಡಿ. ನೀವು ವಾಮ ಮಾರ್ಗ ಅನುಸರಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವೇನು ಪ್ರತ್ಯುತ್ತರವಾಗಿ ತೀರ್ಮಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಬೇಕು. ಅದು ನಾವು ಏನು ಅಂಥ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಮೌನಕ್ಕೆ ಶರಣಾಗೇನು ಇರಲ್ಲ. ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ಕುಲುಗೆಡಿಸಬೇಡಿ ಅಧಿಕಾರಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರವಾಗಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಿಮಗೆ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ ನೀವು 12 ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಆಮಿಷಗಳನ್ನು ಒಡ್ಡಿ ರಾಜೀನಾಮೆ ಕೊಡಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗೋದು, ಮತ್ತಿನ್ನೇನೋ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ವಿಧಾನಸಭೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ವಾಯ್ಸ್ ಔಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಘೋಷಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರ ಭವನವನ್ನು, ಇವತ್ತು ರಾಜಭವನವನ್ನು ಮಿಸ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು, ಕೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ಕಾರ ಇದೆ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಈ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದರೆ ಪೆಟ್ಟು ತಿಂತೀರಿ. ಅಂಥ ಕೆಲಸಗಳು ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ. ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶಕ್ತಿ ಇದ್ದರೆ. ಆದರೆ ವಾಮ ಮಾರ್ಗದಿಂದ ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಬೇಡಿ. ಅದು ಉಪಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ಬರಲ್ಲ ಭಾಳ ದಿನ.
ಸರ್, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಶಾಸಕರೆಲ್ಲ ಈಗ
ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಹೋಗ್ತೀವಿ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸಲಹೆ ಕೇಳೋ ತೀರ್ಮಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ. ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಒಟ್ಟಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ, ಎಲ್ಲಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಇರಬೇಕು ಶಾಸಕರುಗಳು. ನಾವು ಇನ್ನೂ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಕ್ಷಣದವರೆಗೆ ನಾವು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೋಗಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಪರೇಷನ್ ಕಮಲ ಏನು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ, ಕುದುರೆ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಏನು ಪ್ರಾರಂಭ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕುದುರೆ ವ್ಯಾಪಾರ ಆಗದೆ ಇರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ತಡಿಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾನು ಏನಾದರೂ ಒಂದು ತೀರ್ಮಾನ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ಮ ಪಕ್ಷವು ನಮ್ಮದೊಂದು ಸಣ್ಣ ಪಕ್ಷ, ಸಾಲ ಸೋಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಚುನಾವಣೆ ಗೆದ್ದು ಬಂದಿರ್ತಾರೆ ನಮ್ಮ MLAಗಳು. ಹಲವಾರು ರೀತಿ ಸಮಸ್ಯೆಗಳಿರ್ತವೆ. ನಾವು ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ರಕ್ಷಣೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಕಾಪಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅವ್ರನ್ನ ಕಾಪಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೇವೆ, ಬೆವರು ಸುರಿಸಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಒಂದೊಂದು ಓಟ್ ತಗೋಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಾವು ಪಟ್ಟಿರೋ ಶ್ರಮ ನಮಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಅವ್ರು ಸುಲಭವಾಗಿ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹಣದ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಕೊಂಡ್ಕೋತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಹೊರಟು ಈ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋದರೆ ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಪಕ್ಷವನ್ನು, ನನ್ನ ಶಾಸಕರು ನನ್ನ ಜೊತೆ ಉಳಿಸ್ಕೋಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನದೇ ಆದಂಥ ಒಂದು ಮುಂದಿನ ಬೆಳವಣಿಗೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿದೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ರೆಸಾರ್ಟ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲೇ ಇರೋದು, ಕೂತ್ರೆ ಆ ಶಾಸಕರೆಲ್ಲ ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡಿ ತೀರ್ಮಾನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತೀವಿ.
ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ನಾಡಿನ ಜನತೆಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಫೈನಲ್ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ಸರ್.
ನನ್ನ ಡಿಸಿಷನ್ ನಾಳೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಂದೇನಿಲ್ಲ. ನನಗೇನು ಯಾವ ಜನ ಸೇರಿಸಿ ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರು ಇವತ್ತು ಕುತಂತ್ರದ ಮುಖಾಂತರ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮೆಜಾರಿಟಿ ಇಲ್ಲದಿದ್ರು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಇದಕ್ಕೆ ನಾವು ಪ್ರತಿಭಟಿಸ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ಪ್ರತಿಭಟನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಮತ್ತಿನ್ನೊಂದು ಸಮಾಜಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೋ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಮಾಜದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಬ್ಬರು ಮುಖ್ಯಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡೋರು, ಕುಮಾರಸ್ವಾಮಿ ಮತ್ತಿನ್ನೊಂದು ಬಾರಿ ತಪ್ಪಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟ, ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ನನಗೆ ಆ ರೀತಿ ಅವರಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾವನೆ ಬರೋದು ಬೇಡ. ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವ ನಾಡಿನ ಜನತೆಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕಾಮಾಗಿರಿ ಅಂತಲೇ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾವುದೇ ರೀತಿ ಅಶಾಂತಿಯ ವಾತಾವರಣಕ್ಕೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ಕೊಡಬೇಡಿ. ಇವೆಲ್ಲ ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವದಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೀತಾ ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಸರ್ವೇ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ. ನಾವು ಇದನ್ನು ಸ್ಪೋರ್ಟಿವ್ ಆಗಿ ತಗೋಬೇಕು. ದ್ವೇಷದ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ಮಾಡೋ ಅವಶ್ಯಕತೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ನಾನು ಬಿ ಜೆ ಪಿಯವ್ರಿಗೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಡಿಪಾರ್ಟ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಏನೇನು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಇವ್ರಿಗೇನಾದರೂ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಮೋದಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಈ ಪ್ರಜಾಪ್ರಭುತ್ವದ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯನ್ನು ಉಳಿಸ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಒಂದು ದೊಡ್ಡ ಹೃದಯ ವೈಶಾಲ್ಯತೆ ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಇವತ್ತು ಶಾಸಕರ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ಗಳನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಇವತ್ತು ರೆಕಾರ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಪ್ರತಿಯೊಂದು ಮಾತುಗಳು ಏನೇನು ಮಾತನಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಚರ್ಚೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅಧಿಕಾರ ಕೊಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯವನ್ನು ಕಿತ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾರೇ ಇವತ್ತು ನೀವುಗಳು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾತನಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಫೋನ್ಗಳು ಇವತ್ತು ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ, ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಶೋಭಾ ಕರಂದ್ಲಾಜೆ ಇತರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಕೂಡ ಟ್ರ್ಯಾಪ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ಅವರು ಕಂಪ್ಲೇಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
ಈಗ ಯಾರದೇ ಮೊಬೈಲನ್ನು ಟ್ಯಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕಾನೂನು ಬಾಹಿರ. ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳು ಈಗಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಈ ರೀತಿ ಟ್ಯಾಪ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇನ್ಕಮ್ ಟ್ಯಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕರಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ರೈಡ್ಗಳು ಮಾಡಿ ಯಾರ್ಯಾರ ಹತ್ರ ಎಷ್ಟೆಷ್ಟು ದುಡ್ಡು ವಸೂಲಿಗೆ ಪ್ರಯತ್ನ ಪಡ್ತಾರೆ ನನಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಹೌದು, ನಾಳೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ನನ್ನ ಮನೆಗೂ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಬರಲಿ, ನನಗೂ ಇವತ್ತು ಈ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತೇಳಿ ನನ್ನ ಮೇಲೂ ದ್ವೇಷ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆದರೆ ಇವತ್ತು ಏನು ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ ದೇಶ, ಏನು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಇವರು ಹರಿಶ್ಚಂದ್ರ? ಇವತ್ತು ದೇಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಭ್ರಷ್ಟಾಚಾರ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸಿ ಒಬ್ಬೊಬ್ಬ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಪ್ರಜೆಯ ಬದುಕಿನ ಜೊತೆ ಚೆಲ್ಲಾಟ ಏನಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಲ್ಲ, ಅದನ್ನು ಸರಿಪಡಿಸ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಪ್ರಾಮಾಣಿಕವಾಗಿ ನಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದನ್ನು ಕಾರ್ಯರೂಪದಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡಿ ತೋರಿಸಿ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನನ್ನೊಬ್ಬನ ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಇವತ್ತು ರಾಜ್ಯ ಏನಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿದೆ ನನಗೆ. 2 ಹೊತ್ತಿನ ಕೂಳಿಗೆ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಕುಟುಂಬಗಳವರು ನಿರ್ವಹಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಈ ರಾಜ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ. ಇವತ್ತು ಯಾವನ 4 ಜನ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ದ್ವೇಷ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಸುಳ್ಳು ನೋಟಿಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟು 4 ಗಂಟೆ ಕೂರಿಸ್ಕೊತೀವಿ. ಮತ್ತು ಆ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು 1 ಕೋಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ನೀನು ಫೈಲ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ, 2 ಕೋಟಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟರೆ ಫೈಲ್ ಕ್ಲೋಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ದಿವಸ ಇಂಥ ರಾಜಕಾರಣ ನಡೆಸ್ತೀರಿ? ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯ ಇದಕ್ಕೋಸ್ಕರವಾಗಿ ಈ ದೇಶದ ಹಲವಾರು ಜನ ಹಿರಿಯರು ತಂದುಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಈ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾತಂತ್ರ್ಯನ. ಇಂಥದ್ದೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಇದು ಒಳ್ಳೆಯದಲ್ಲ. ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಬರ್ಬೋದು, ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ ಇನ್ಯಾರೋ ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು. ನೀವೀಗ ಹೋಗ್ತಿರೋ ಮಾರ್ಗದಲ್ಲಿ ನಾಳೆ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮೇಲೆ ಅವ್ರು ಶುರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಈ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಇದನ್ನು ಹಾಕ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಿ. ಇದು ಎಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ತಗೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತೀರಿ? ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ಲಿ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿರೋದು ಹೇಳಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬಯಸ್ತೀನಿ.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಸೊ ಮಚ್.
All right, so that was Kumaraswamy there speaking to the press. A couple of things that he said. He talked about, first of all, the fact that he said, we've not received any confirmation at all from the governor's house that anybody has been invited to form the government. Remember, Suresh Kumar of the BJP had tweeted some time ago, a tweet that has now been deleted, in which he said that Yediyurappa will take the oath tomorrow at 9 a.m. He has now deleted that tweet, to which Kumaraswamy said that, we understand why such tweets are being sent. We're not letting them bother us. He went on to say that if 4 or 5 people are going to be happy with such a tweet, then they can go ahead and feel happy. But I'm not going to let this bother me or my MLAs. And he went on to say that I've explained my stand and my future plan or my forward plan to you this afternoon. I don't have to say it again. He went on to say that I'm currently in pain. He said, our people's pride has been hurt. He said, I've done no wrong. We've done no wrong. People currently support us and support me to become the chief minister. I don't understand why I have not been offered that opportunity yet. He said tomorrow, if such a thing happens, we will then decide what to do next. He also went on to say, and this was the interesting part, Vinay, he said, we received a proposal, and he didn't say from whom. He said, we received a proposal saying tomorrow, if Yediyurappa has been invited to form government, let's get a lot of people together and stage a large protest in the city. He has said that he decided not to do that. He has rejected that proposal. He said there is no reason to break society in this manner. He doesn't want to take a step like that. He said if they have been given an opportunity to prove their numbers, let them prove the numbers. I don't think they're going to have those numbers. We don't want to put together a protest of 1 lakh people and disrupt the city. He doesn't believe that that's the right thing, and that would perhaps indicate a difference of opinion between the Congress and the JDS at this point. He also said, and I just want to get through this very quickly, he also said that they mustn't resort to any wrongdoing when trying to prove their numbers. He then went on to say that his MLAs he feels for them. They're hardworking MLAs, they're not rich MLAs, they're from a small party, they've worked very, very hard to get the numbers that they have gotten. And his main priority at this point is to protect his MLAs. He went on to say that they're being harassed by the IT department. He suspects their phones are being tapped. They don't feel safe at this point, and that's why his top priority at this point is to keep his MLAs safe more than anything else. He also said right now that he's not leaving the city like the Congress MLAs have. He's not made that decision yet. But I'm being told that Meenakshi has spoken with Kapil Sibal one-on-one, and we're just going to quickly listen into that.
Actually, that's a very...
We're being joined by eminent jurist and Rajya Sabha MP, senior Congress leader Kapil Sibal. Sir, at the outset, thanks for having this special conversation with us. Can you just share with Mirror Now viewers, sir, how serious or grave in your perception the scenario is? You have spoken about the government's role, the governor's role, beg your pardon, the role, responsibility of the governor's office. Is this a grave situation that we are in the midst of?
Well, there is a constitutional crisis. If the governor invites a minority party, which doesn't have, as we know that the BJP in Karnataka have 104 elected members, and you have to reach the figure of 112. So obviously they don't have the support of the extra 8. So in the absence of that, on what basis the governor invited them is still not known, especially when the JDS and the Congress have the support of 117. Yeah. And the leader of the Congress party has, in fact, written to the governor saying that we fully support the JDS and that Kumaraswamy should be asked to form the government. Now, in the absence of any majority with the BJP, if the governor chooses to ask the BJP and invite them to form the government, then obviously it's a violation of the Constitution. It's a violation of the judgment of the Supreme Court in the matter of Goa, where the Congress party had 17, which was the single largest party, and yet Parrikar formed the government because other parties supported the BJP. And the Supreme Court upheld that and only advanced the floor test. That's a judicial precedent. So if the governor doesn't want to follow the Constitution, doesn't want to follow the judicial precedent, what precedent he is following can only be a political precedent in which he is giving a chance for the BJP to do what should not be done under the Constitution.
So there you have it, Mr. Kapil Sibal in a special conversation with Mirror Now, saying that there is precedent, especially after the Goa Assembly case, that the governor is liable or bound rather to proceed in a set manner, a manner which has been adjudicated earlier by the Supreme Court of India. In New Delhi, Meenakshi for Mirror Now.
Vinay, coming back to, and we'll go back to what Kapil Sibal said in a second, but I want to come back to the Kumaraswamy, press note. I'm not sure, but now there are so many of these impromptu press interactions that are happening now in Bangalore. What is your interpretation of what he said about his MLAs and what he said about the fact that he believes they're being harassed?
Well, of course, in a situation like this, it's very normal for a party leader to claim or say that his phones are being tapped, which, I mean, nobody can say for sure whether it's happening or not, but obviously those claims are made. But I think one of the other points you mentioned, which he said, was far more significant. And actually, it displays how Kumaraswamy's political acumen and understanding is perhaps a little better than the Congress on the ground as of now. The fact that he chose to say that I don't want my people to go on the streets and create a law and order problem or disrupt life or punish people has a little bit of a history in how, in the past, governments have either been dismissed or assemblies have been put in suspended animation or any other excuse that has been used by a state governor to deny an opportunity. So I'll give you an example. In 1998, when Ramesh Bhandari was the governor of Uttar Pradesh, it was a very acrimonious period of politics in UP. Almost four governments changed in 6 years. And one of the grounds that Ramesh Bhandari had then used to dismiss the then Mayawati government was violence, because they said that there is a constitutional breakdown in the state, and because of that, this government has no right to rule. Now, he is obviously preempting any such move of painting or getting their alliance painted as a disruptionist force or as a difficult force or whatever. He wants to suggest that it's a mature, solid, stable, state-friendly, people-friendly government. He's just trying to show himself as a more mature person.
He kept saying, people support me. I have only ever worked for the goodness of, for the betterment of the state. I have done nothing wrong. He said, I've done nothing wrong thrice over. I've done nothing wrong. Why wouldn't you give me an opportunity to prove my strength and be the chief minister?
Correct. And I think that's why he's probably said it. Because look, at the end of the day, whether he says it or not, it's almost certain there will be some kind of protest in the streets. The parties will hit the streets. It's not as if it won't happen. But I think he's saying so because he just wants to show himself up as a...
To ring fence himself against any of that, saying, I didn't
because he's the
order it,
incumbent chief minister. I mean, he's the incumbent in the sense that he's the one who staked claim. So if so, technically he is the one who is going to be the CM if this combine gets invited.
But you know, there's something very interesting otherwise also in the way this is being dealt with. Now, like Vinay was pointing out, we've had multiple leaks that have come out that most of them speak about one specific party being called in for swearing in on the account of them being the single largest party. So it seems that the Congress's strategy is to come out repeatedly and address the media and reach out to people and say they are still in control, they're trying hard, this is how their stand is being backed, these are the legal precedents, this is the past example. So Congress is repeatedly from Delhi to Karnataka coming out and making these comments. It's very interesting that you've actually not seen too many on-camera comments being made from the BJP or the Yedurappa camp as much. It's just
no, but interesting, there was a press conference lined up at the BJP headquarters today. Mandar was at that location. They apparently came out, went back in, came out, went back in, decided not to have that press conference.
Actually, we got interrupted by the Kumaraswamy press conference when you had asked that question. So I think before we get into the other panelists, just let's explain for 30 seconds to the viewers why these leaks have a role to play.
Yes.
They have a role to play in this whole narrative. Look, in a situation where every single MLA's worth is in crores or in gold, physically ensuring the presence of an MLA in either camp is of as much importance. And even if there is a 5-hour head start of the actual letter from the leakage, it gives the political formation time to convince a fence sitter. Listen, in any political formation, there are at least 5 to 10% MLAs who are fence sitters. Their only ideology is perhaps making money. They don't care about party ideology or whatever. So they are always up for being poached by any formation.
Batting for the best interests of themselves.
Precisely. So, and those are the guys who get poached precisely on the grounds of them agreeing or realizing which one is in a better position to form the government. Now, the minute I come to know...
So what you're saying is, if you heard, for example, that the BJP is forming the government, you say, okay.
Yes, so if I'm a fence sitter and I can't choose between you and Tanvi, and I get to know that she's being called to form the government, obviously her supporters will find it easier to get me, because then I will say, okay, she's in a pole position because she's getting invited first. So some amount of misinformation is deliberate, because even a few hours of head start or misinformation helps one political formation to secure the fence sitter's approval, or at least the physical presence.
All right, let's bring in the rest of our panelists right now. All seated: Sudhanshu Mittal, national spokesperson of the BJP; Arima Sundaram, the senior advocate with the Supreme Court; Sangeet Kumar Jaggi is a political analyst; Brijesh Kalapa will join us as well, spokesperson for the Congress, also a lawyer on the Supreme Court; Kamal Mitra Shinoy is a professor of political science, so it's very useful to have these voices with us tonight. I'm going to start with Mr. Sundaram. Mr. Sundaram, since we spoke yesterday on the phone, and we spoke as soon as this entire thing started to brew, you made your voice, you made your opinion very clear. The governor, from what we understand, today has received submissions from both sides. The Congress, the JDS have confirmed to the press that their submission included a docket of legal information telling the governor how their case is stronger than the other side. The governor is now going to seek legal counsel. Assuming you were the legal counsel in this case, what would your opinion be?
Well, I don't think there are two opinions in this matter, Faye. There is only one opinion.
Okay.
You see, the whole problem is that we somewhere along the way seem to forget that the governor's office, when planned and when the framers of the Constitution brought in this governor's office, they had in mind people like Padmaraja Naidu, Jayachamaraja Wadeyar, people like this. The problem is when the governor's office gets filled with people who are getting a political, whose active political career is over, they're getting their pat on their head and they're sent out to the pasture with a little reward for political loyalty. The governor seems to often lose his way between the myriad of political convenience and listening to his political bosses and doing what the Constitution says. Now, the problem here is in situations like this, the governor seems to forget the kind of office he holds. And in all these cases, the governors are doing nothing more than ringing up Delhi and finding out what they should do. And it's happened time and again. Supreme Court has had to reverse the opinions of so many governors on this score. Now, the problem, take this case. Where are there two ways? It's simple arithmetic. You have 104 with the BJP. You have 116 with the or 116 with the Congress and the JDS. You have 2 independents. So assume that the BJP has both the 2 independents. They are the only 2 they can legitimately, constitutionally get on their side. I say legitimately and constitutionally because the 2 independents can always support whomsoever they want. So now you got very simple numbers. You got at the best 106 as against the balance 116. Now there's no doubt where the majority lies. The only way the 106 can become 112 if they get 6 from either the JDU or the Congress, which have made a post-poll alliance, and which means they're going against their party's ideology, their party's decision, the party on whose symbol they've been elected. That means what they are going to do is run foul of the 10th schedule to the Constitution and the anti-defection law and act unconstitutionally, which may result also in their disqualification. Now take what the governor is saying. If he was to give the BJP an opportunity, what is he telling the BJP? Now look here, you guys, I'm giving you a week's time. I know you don't have the majority. I know you can get the majority only by getting 6 of them to breach the anti-defection law, to breach the 10th schedule, to act unconstitutionally. So I'm sorry, I don't believe in mincing words. What the governor is saying, if he was to give the opportunity to the BJP, is to say, look here, I'm now giving you a chance to act unconstitutionally. I am giving you the chance to do something the Constitution frowns on. I am giving you the chance to do something which the Constitution has said goes against the very basic tenets of democracy, but I am going to do so. Now, the only justification I can get for making him do so is he wants to somehow assist politically the BJP party, somehow assist them politically to contrive a situation of getting these people to actually defect, lose their seats, and with a reduced composition of the House, get the majority. Now, if that is what the governor is doing, I ask myself, is this what the framers of the Constitution intended when they brought in the governor's position and gave these powers to the governor? I've been hearing all these things. It's the governor's discretion, it's the governor's discretion. Well, if a discretion is exercised unconstitutionally in this matter, I'm not even using the word unconstitutional. I'm saying if it is going to be exercised anti-constitutional, not unconstitutional, but anti-constitutional, it's a very sad day. And I'm very sorry to say that the officer of governor is quite willingly being brought down to such levels by people who occupy such offices. And in that way, they are really insulting the Constitution. I'm hoping that this governor will not fall prey to that because the announcement has not yet been made. But seeing that he's delaying so long, that worries me in itself. He ought not to be delaying. He should call on the majority post-alliance to form the government straight away and prove their strength on the floor of the House.
Well, I'm sure Sudhanshu Mittal wants to respond to that. It was very clearly put forward by Mr. Arya Sundaram. Sudhanshu Mittal, do you want to respond to that?
Mr. Sundaram has very eloquently said there is no other opinion. Throughout the day, I've been hearing the opinion of 2-3 very eminent people, including Mr. Harish Salve and Mr. Soli Sorabji and Subhash Kashyap, all 3 known constitutional experts who've dealt with Constitution far more number of times than anybody else. And all of them were unanimously of the opinion that as we stand today, in the absence of a pre-poll alliance, having a majority, it is the largest single party which should be called. So when Mr. Sundaram takes it upon himself to say there cannot be another opinion, I'm sorry, I disagree with you because equally eminent people have expressed differently.
No, Mr. Mittal,
let me explain.
Argue the merits of his argument, please.
That is exactly what I'm saying. Allow me to now illustrate and elucidate without interruption, please. Now, I just want to know from everybody, is, by my judgment, a legal document has illegal enforceability or not? I mean, I would really appreciate if somebody comes and says, look, this has been overruled, this has got no legal implementability. So what you are saying is wrong. Well, let me tell you where you are all missing out on a point.
May I respond?
It is, this situation, can I finish, sir? I did not interrupt. The inherent and the inevitable problem of the situation is that you are confronted with the situation where there is an invert pyramid. A pyramid rises on the base and there is a vertex which goes up. Here it is the reverse.
What?
And why do I say so? It is a larger party supporting the smaller group. History of Indian political system has it that an invert pyramid in governance has never worked.
Mr. Mittal, I'm going to interrupt you there because I don't believe that that's a legal argument. No, but let me talk about, and we've got scenarios on our screen.
I understand, you have not even heard my argument.
No, but smaller party, larger party is not a valid argument,
I have no issues. I had asked, allow me.
Okay, all right. So the three of us will allow.
That if I am going to be permitted to speak, then I will come, otherwise I'm not interested.
Okay, all right.
You haven't heard. It is incumbent on the governor to also judge whether stable government can be found or not. And this kind of a government has never been stable in this country. No matter anybody may laugh, the issues of government formation are far more serious than the laughter of the gentleman who's sitting here. Issue is that an inherently unstable, unsustainable composition is being presented. I would have had no issues if Congress was leading it and JDS was supporting them.
BJP itself has made alliances with 5 smaller fragments and to run from the smallest party to become the government in the state. So that argument really doesn't stand, Mr. Mittal. Fair enough if you want to make that argument, but going back
to... We'll allow a rebut.
Yes.
If that's the argument that smaller party, larger party doesn't offer stability, that's what Mr. Mittal put forward.
I have put up a proposition. Is the Bommai judgment relevant or not?
All right, Arima Sundaram, you want to rebut that before I bring in the rest of the panelists?
That there is an offer.
Arima Sundaram will rebut, please.
You know, with the greatest, may I rebut?
Yes,
with the very greatest respect to what was just said, I think we should really read the Bommai judgment, the Rameshwar Prasad judgment, before we comment on it. Both those judgments professed number one, there should be no uncertainty. If there is uncertainty, then the procedure to be followed is to resolve the uncertainty in the following manner. Call the pre-poll alliance, which can form the government with the maximum seats. Next, call the party with the maximum seats. And next, any other alliances of a number of parties. Now, all that is prefaced on there being an uncertainty. And the real thing what the Bommai judgment said was, when there's uncertainty, it should best be decided on the floor of the House. Now, last year, when the Goa government was formed, the Supreme Court said, even though it was not the largest party, since it was a party which demonstrably had the majority, the governor could not be faulted for calling them. So there is no rule whatsoever, hard and fast. These are guidelines in the case of uncertainty. Now, when two parties, I can understand there are 5 parties and each one is fragmented, you don't know which are with which. Here there are 3 parties, 2 have taken one side, and please don't forget, those 2 together have 56% of the popular vote against 36% of the BJP vote. That means 64% of the people went against the BJP. Second, those 2 parties have 118 seats against 16 seats against the BJP's 104 seats. Where is the uncertainty? The uncertainty comes out about delaying this and allowing what is the basic substratum of the Constitution and democracy, prevent horse trading. A person who comes to strength on a particular party has to follow the ideology of the party. Now, if the ideology of these 2 parties is to join together, every one of them ought to follow that ideology. And what the BJP is wanting and what the governor is allowing is to create an uncertainty, whereas both Bommai and Rajeshwar Prasad said, ensure there is no uncertainty. And that's why I'm afraid that Mr. Mitra has not correctly read the judgments or not fully read them. But, I mean, he's entitled to his view. And I want to correct him on one thing. Mr. Salve very clearly, in his interview yesterday, also concurred that if the numbers are very clear, then there is nothing to prevent the party which has two parties together have the majority being called, that there's nothing to prevent it, and it doesn't mean that a party which does not have the majority, even if they have the largest seats, should be called. He said this on interview, not on one channel, but three channels
let me
yesterday.
just bring in,
quoting him,
yes, Mr. Sundaram, if you'd allow me, there has been a lot of allegations about horse trading today. Mr. Mittal, 1 second. There's been a lot of allegations about horse trading today, and this is what we should address. And I'm going to just put up this these scenarios on the screen right now of how the BJP can make up for its shortfall of 7 MLAs. It's short of 7 MLAs right now, even if you count the one independent that it has now switched sides. So these are the options given the fact, how can the BJP get the numbers? Given the fact that there is an anti-defection law, this is the first option. You basically get the ones who you want to switch over, you coax them to resign. If they resign, they're no longer MLAs, and the halfway mark, the strength gets reduced, the halfway mark comes down, it's easier to cross that halfway mark. That's scenario number 1. Scenario number 2, you coax them to abstain from a vote. If they do so, they will be disqualified based on the anti-defection law. The halfway mark comes down, it's easier to meet that halfway mark because they will be disqualified. Scenario number 3, you coax them to cross-vote, which is to vote against their parties. Now, if they do so, if they cross-vote, they will be disqualified again. They will lose their seats. The halfway mark comes down. It becomes easier to meet that halfway mark. And the last option, which is scenario number 4, you get 2/3 of the JDS to break away, which might seem like too tall a task at this point. If the going rate is 100 crore rupees per MLA, that's a lot of money, and I don't know if anybody has that kind of money lying around. I'd be interested to find out. But Vinay, this is the anti-defection law, and the truth is, irrespective of how you cut it, these are the only 4 options available to the BJP to make up their shortfall. Is that not true?
Well, obviously, yes, because very clearly, I mean, the arithmetic doesn't add up as on date. So if whatever the claim may be from the BJP, there is no doubt that the numbers that they are claiming they'll get in the floor of the House will come from breaking away somebody from either of the two other parties. There is no third way because there is no third MLA left to take. So that's very obvious. And everything you mentioned is, of course, part and process of politics that has happened in the past. Each of the scenarios that you've mentioned have been attempted before, some very often successfully, and governments have been formed on that. 2008, Karnataka itself had this situation where the MLAs resigned and effectively brought down the strength of the assembly. So it's all been done before. It's nothing unprecedented. It's all been tried and successfully tried. And I guess that's the only way.
Is there any way to do it without the exchange of money?
Personally, yesterday, if I remember very correctly, one political leader, spokesperson actually said MLAs can actually vote for the goodness of their heart. I don't really believe there is anything called goodness of the heart in terms of somebody switching sides and voting for somebody else. Obviously, there is an allurement of some sort or there is some amount of pressure of some sort that will make you change your party position and risk your career.
Correct. So this is interesting. So now on that point, Tanvi, we need to open this up to the panel. Because if these are the only options left, will this lead to a stable government? Buying MLAs for money, or is there a different way in which you can get an MLA to switch sides and on a board? And I want to just bring this forward. Now, the BJP might be short of 7 MLAs to reach the halfway point. But if they're looking to reduce the strength, they have to then buy 12 MLAs. Because they'll need their 105 to be halfway.
15.
Yes, so they'll have to buy 12 or 15 MLAs. So that's a far higher price than just the 7 that they need. So, Mr. Siddharth Mittal, one comment from you, and then I have to bring in the rest of my panel. Is there a non-currency way to get an MLA to shift sides?
First is when a government is sworn in without having the strength, it will present its case before the MLAs, and if the MLAs don't vote for it, it will go out of office. So what's the big deal about it? Have we not seen this in '96? Mr. Atal Bihari Vajpayee was sworn in as the Prime Minister according to the rules of the game, and he could not get enough support. So he resigned and he got out of office in 14 days. So if you are sworn in, the only option is money. I think it's not a fair mindset. There is another option that if people don't agree to support you, you go out of office.
Mr.
This
Mittal,
basic
good evening. This is Tanvi
money,
here. On that note,
let me tell you one thing. Let me explain. Can I finish?
Yes.
There have been enough cases where people have lost governments with one vote. The classical example was 98 Lok Sabha. This government got defeated by one vote. Now, if money was the only criteria for people to switch over and this and that, there was plenty of money which could have been arranged then. But this is not the political decision making is not necessarily based on money, which you all like everybody to believe. It's the most unfair remark. I mean, you think the only thing which people understand is money. People make choices out of so many considerations.
So on that note, Mr. Sudhanshu Mittal, can you confirm to us if there is a swearing-in ceremony tomorrow? Because you started your answer by saying once there is a swearing-in ceremony, then the government can prove its majority. Is that what is going to happen tomorrow?
Yeah, if there is one, then the government. If the governor decides no, you are not going to be sworn in. And,
no, I'm asking you because there have been multiple reports and tweets, including tweets from BJP Karnataka's handle that were put out and then deleted, saying there is an oath-taking ceremony tomorrow. All the supporters are invited. Can you give us any confirmation on whether or not that's happening tomorrow?
No,
or those were just enthusiastic tweets that were put out and then withdrawn.
Of any.
Okay, good. All right. So fair enough. I'm going to come back.
I have no confirmation of any decision which is taken in this.
All right. I'm going to come back to the horse trading or what the Siddaramaiah very amusingly called, Kudre Vyapara, which is actually a trader of horses, not necessarily horse trading. Brijesh Kalapa. This Sudhanshu Mittal says that the government can come in and try to prove its numbers without exchanging money. Is there proof of horse trading allegations that was made by both the Congress and the JDS today? And Mr. Siddaramaiah actually brought in the Prime Minister. He accused the Prime Minister personally of this. Where is the proof?
No, see, I think the moment the anti-defection law has come, there is always a presumption that unless there is money exchanging hands, there is no question of one person moving from one party to another. Although it was the International Congress which brought the anti-defection law, it was Mr. Arun Jaitley under Vajpayee who strengthened it, and that's the time when the BJP at that time thought that it was necessary to strengthen it because the two-thirds majority had to be.
We met yesterday and today also. Yesterday we had submitted the willingness and the claim that being a single largest party, we are accepting the responsibility and we are here expressing our willingness to form the government. Following that, today, as I said, again we met as a delegation under the leadership of Yediyurappa ji, Honorable Governor, and also informed him about the legislature party election. Just now, Governor Office has given us this letter inviting him to take the oath and form the government.
All right, viewers, we can confirm to you now that there is a letter and we're in possession of that letter from the Governor of Karnataka to Shri Yediyurappa ji. It says, I am in receipt of your letter dating the 16th of May informing me that you have been elected the leader of the BJP Legislative Party of Karnataka. I am also in receipt of your letter on the 15th of May staking claim to form the government. I invite you to form the government and to be sworn in as Chief Minister. You may kindly indicate the date, the time and the place of scheduling of the swearing-in ceremony. I may also direct you to seek a vote of confidence on the floor of the House, showing that you command confidence of the House. This process shall be completed within 15 days from the date of assumption of office as Chief Minister of Karnataka. I think there's one thing we all know, that if Mr. Yediyurappa were given a choice, he would pick the 17th of May. He's been talking about that date for a month before voting even happened, that was his date. Apparently it's his lucky number, and that's the date he wanted. So if he picks tomorrow and he's sworn in tomorrow, he has 15 days to prove his numbers in the House. Vinay, is 15 days, I mean, like you said, there's no legal construct to how many days, but is that a reasonable amount of time, or is it too much time?
Well, I mean, we can only use the example of precedences to see whether this is good enough or this is too much. There have been precedences of time being given for 15 days. There has been instances, a lot of instances of 13 days and 12 days. There have also been instances of a week. So the trouble is that there is no legal definition of how long the governor should give to the party to prove the majority on the floor of the House.
Well, there's also other official info, breaking coming in, that apparently the Congress will move Supreme Court in reaction to this. Let me go back to Brijesh Kalapa, who is speaking, who can confirm this to us, being one of the lawyers of the Congress party. Will you be moving Supreme Court, Brijesh Kalapa? Is that the next step for you?
Absolutely, we will move the Supreme Court. I think on every single occasion, because I always believe that we are one country and we can't have different laws in different states. If the law quoted by the governor in Goa was correct, then certainly the law which is now being quoted by the governor in Karnataka is totally incorrect. Because at that time we took a certain position and the governor said, no, this is the correct position, and we accept that. And today, if the governor of Karnataka feels that it's a different kind of law they're going to interpret, it's almost like telling me, show me your face and I'll tell you the law. So a governor who holds a constitutional position can't certainly behave in this manner. And certainly I can assure you, I can confirm to you that we are moving the Supreme Court of India tomorrow, and we will certainly agitate this issue. It can't be that, when there is a clear, it's as clear as black and white, that the numbers are clearly, like Mr. Aryamatsundaram so eloquently put it, that we have 38 seats with the JDS and we have 78 with us. So that makes a total of 116. And beyond that, I think it's not possible for the BJP to conjure up some numbers. Although Mr. Modi is a great magician, he can't conjure up some numbers out of nowhere. So I think he has to really look at only this kind of an arrangement where there are 38 seats with the JDS, 78 with the Congress party, and 2 independents. The maximum we can think of is to seek their support. And beyond that, he can't think of seeking anybody else's support, because there is an anti-defection law which has been originally conceived of by the Congress party, but strengthened by the BJP while it was in office under Mr. Vajpayee.
Yes.
So at that time, if they thought that the anti-defection law was important.
But I want the panel to weigh in on the 15 days.
It's even more important in today's milieu.
15 days, because initially when we thought Yediyurappa had asked for 1 week, he has now been given twice as much time. And I want to know if that is unusual, if that is fair.
With your permission, Faye, because the period is not exactly cast in stone in law, but the other aspect is, there is one aspect which I would ideally want Mr. Aryamatsundaram to answer, because he is the real legal expert in this panel, which is this.
Yes.
That in the Goa case, when the Supreme Court was approached by an MLA, is it a right reading that in that case the Supreme Court actually skirted the issue of interfering with the governor's decision to call a particular permission? Because that judgment will form a precedence on what the Congress is now saying. The Congress is saying they will approach the Supreme Court, obviously against the decision to invite the BJP. Now, in that case, the Supreme Court did not interfere with the invitation. It only insisted that the BJP go and prove the majority in the floor of the House by a particular day. That's all they said. Is that the right interpretation, Mr. Sundaram?
But they didn't give 15 days.
That's right.
Well, I don't think there's any manner of doubt that so far as the Goa case was concerned, the Supreme Court did not give any verdict on merits of the case, decide what the procedure should be, what should be done. What the Supreme Court very clearly said in that case was, we don't see any reason to interfere with this, since it appears that the people whom the governor has called have cobbled up a majority. But what they should do is go at the very earliest and get the floor test. So I cannot see what the Supreme Court did in that case as a precedent. But what the Supreme Court did in that case is something else. It goes back to what I was saying, that neither the Bommai case nor the Rajeshwar Prasad case in any way laid down a hard and fast rule that the party with the highest number of seats is the one to be called. What they said was, when there was uncertainty, that is a route to be followed. What the Supreme Court said in the Goa case, by declining to interfere, said, since there appears to be certainty in the numbers, since it's not the largest party, but the rest put together seem to have the majority, why should we interfere? That itself would only go to show that while the Supreme Court didn't decide the case on merits, what they said was, once there is somebody who has the numbers, that is what is called for. We need not interfere. And to that extent, you can say that Rajeshwar Prasad and Bommai did not lay down and write in stone, nothing doing. Even if there are only 3 parties, 2 are together, and the only way this party with the maximum seats can get is by breaking the constitution, is violating the constitution, getting a defection. Well, neither of those judgments said it. And Faye, there's just one more thing I want to add to you, which is very, very important. The only single way the BJP can legitimately, I use the word legitimately, can constitutionally, without violating, injuring and destroying the constitution, get the majority to sustain Mr. Yediyurappa continuing in government, is to get either the Congress or the JDS to support them. If he gets the whole of the JDS to turn around and say, look, we don't want to form the government, we will support the BJP, or the Congress saying, we are not going to support the JDS, we will now support Mr. Yediyurappa, that is the whole party. That is the only way they can constitutionally and morally and legally do it. Otherwise, it's political horse trading, which is frowned on by the Constitution, and which unfortunately the present gentleman who occupies the position of governor's office sees that horse trading should be permitted, and give him as long a rope as possible, 15 days, because you may not be able to trade enough horses in 7. I give you 15 to trade the horses.
Well, Mr. Sidrab, of the options you've offered the BJP, I'm assuming it would be a cold day in hell before the Congress decided to support the BJP's government in Karnataka. That doesn't leave them with too many options. Yes, so I just want to bring
JDS.
Yes, or the JDS. I just want to bring in the 2 panelists who haven't spoken. Mr. Mittal, I see your hand up. I'm going to come to you. Professor Chiroy, please. Kamal Mitra Chiroy. Mr. Chidambaram has tweeted saying the governor gives Mr. Yediyurappa 15 days to manufacture a majority. That tweet just came out. Kamal Mitra Chiroy, please go ahead.
Look, the Bommai case made it very clear that stability was to be established, but in keeping with constitutional norms. Now, one thing that Sudhanshuji said, where he said, oh, small parties getting together can never be very stable. I'd like to remind him about Kerala, amongst other states, where there are various small parties who get together and they stay stable for the whole 5 years. Now, what is intriguing about the governor's persuasion is that he's given 15 days. Now he's given 15 days when there is already clarity that a majority has been established. And in Bommai, the whole idea, and then of course in other later Supreme Court judges, including the judgment of 2006, the line has always been that this is used for stability, so that a government is formed and begins to govern quickly. Now here the Honorable Governor has vacated that idea altogether and waited for some time and then said 15 days. Now, if he has to do 15 days, he should ask the largest party to face the floor test, which is precisely the Bommai judgment question, that there should be a floor test. Now, how can you give the floor test to a smaller constellation of one party as against a majority combination of 2 parties? This is just not constitutionally viable. And the third thing I'd like to say is that what is happening now is that the role of the governor is increasingly becoming more and more questionable, despite the constitutional apparatus which set it up in the beginning. And if we have governors who are malleable, then the very basis of parliamentary democracy will be hit. So it's not only a question of who forms government in Karnataka, it is also how will the constitutional apparatus operate when there seems to be a colorable exercise of power. That, Sudhanshu ji, is what worries us most. Who wins otherwise through the obvious means which are valid, no problem. If BJP has the problem comes, we welcome it. But what is being done is something quite different.
So that point that you made, Professor Chennai, let me take it across to Sangeet Kumar Ragi as well. The time period that has been given, 15 days, Mr. Ragi, and we come back to that, is that a bit much? I remember it was just last year when Sasikala had herded 118 MLAs to one resort until a day before the floor test, and one of them, their phones were taken away, they were all locked up. One of
Which
them
is likely to happen
actually
in this case as well, yes.
wore a disguise, jumped over the wall and then ran to Paneerselvam's camp. So is 15 days a bit too much time for all of these tactics to then be used?
With all due respect to Professor Chennai and particularly Mr. Sundaram, I think that all the panelists are starting the discussion with one assumption that all the MLAs are the commodities who can be sold in the market very easily, can be purchased in the market very easily, and this is how the dance of democracy works in India, number one. Number two, why can't we presume that the JDS and Congress alliance in particularly based on the exchange of the money, if there is exchange of the money, which is likely to be a possibility as according to the panelists, that it might take place, my assumption is, think about this assumption, I may be incorrect, that there has been a heavy exchange of money between the Congress party and the JDS. There has been larger arrangement between the
you'll
Congress
have to
party
excuse
and
me,
JDS
but there's a
to
press
form the
conference
government.
being addressed by Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad. I'm not the one interrupting you, but Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad is addressing a press conference. We have to listen in. Could we listen in, please?
दिल्ली की सरकार को डिसमिस किया था, याद होगा आपको, और राष्ट्रपति शासन लगाया था। जिन सरकारों का कोई मतलब नहीं था, जहां मौका मिला भाजपा की इतनी सरकारों को डिसमिस किया था। और जो आज लोकतांत्रिक मर्यादा की बात कर रही है कांग्रेस पार्टी, तो बहुत विनम्रता से कांग्रेस पार्टी को एक स्मृति और मैं ताजा करना चाहता हूं कि कांग्रेस पार्टी के प्रधानमंत्री भी बहुमत को अमर्यादित, अलोकतांत्रिक और भ्रष्टाचार के कारण अल्पमत को बहुमत बनाने में ट्रायल भी फेस कर चुके हैं। आप समझ रहे हैं मैं क्या बता रहा हूं? इसलिए कृपया करके कांग्रेस पार्टी हमें ना संविधान की मर्यादा सिखाए, न संविधान और लोकतंत्र के संस्कार बताए। इसकी चर्चा मैं पहले भी कर चुका हूं कि किस प्रकार से कांग्रेस पार्टी ने आपातकाल लगाया, न्यायपालिका को सुपरसीड किया और एक कमिटेड न्यायपालिका की बात की है। ये रिकॉर्ड पर है, पार्लियामेंट के रिकॉर्ड पर। ये बात मुझे इसलिए कहनी पड़ रही है भाजपा की ओर से कि आज लोकतंत्र की दुहाई भाजपा को बताई जा रही है, तो कृपया करके कांग्रेस पार्टी हमें नसीहत न दे। ये बात मैं बहुत विनम्रता से कहना चाहता हूं। अब जहां तक आज के विषय का सवाल है, थोड़ा मैं आप लोग के माध्यम से सुप्रीम कोर्ट के कुछ फैसले क्या हैं और राज्यपाल के अधिकार क्या हैं, इसके बारे में बताना चाहता हूं। बार बार बम्बई जजमेंट की बात की जा रही है और मैं अपने पत्रकार मित्रों से बहुत विनम्रता से आग्रह करूंगा कि देश के सामने इसकी सच्चाई जानी चाहिए। बम्बई जजमेंट में मूल विषय यह था कि अगर कोई मुख्यमंत्री अपना बहुमत खो देता है तो उसके बहुमत की परख कहां होगी, और क्या राज्यपाल बिना सदन के पटल पर उसके बहुमत का निर्णय किए राष्ट्रपति शासन की अनुशंसा कर सकते हैं? सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने कहा नहीं, अगर किसी मुख्यमंत्री का बहुमत खत्म हो गया तो संसद का पटल स्थान है जहां पर उसके बहुमत का फैसला होगा, उसके बाहर नहीं. The court was very clear that the platform of the Vidhan Sabha is the only forum where the majority is to be tested. लेकिन सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक और बहुत महत्वपूर्ण बात कही है जो कांग्रेस के लोग नहीं बता रहे हैं, तो आज हम उसको बताना चाहते हैं. मैं बम्बई जजमेंट के 1994 3 SCC पेज 1 का पैरा 396 पढ़ रहा हूं, पैरा 396, और मैं बहुत विनम्रता से अपने पत्रकार मित्रों से आग्रह करूंगा कि देश को बताया जाए. मैं पैराग्राफ 396 पढ़ रहा हूं. We make it clear that what we have said above is confined to a situation where the incumbent chief minister is alleged to have lost the majority support or the confidence of the house. अब मैं सबसे महत्वपूर्ण 3 लाइन पढ़ रहा हूं. It is not relevant to a situation arising after a general election where the governor has to invite the leader of the party commanding majority in the house or the single largest party is to group to form the government. We need express no opinion regarding such a situation. तो सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने स्पष्ट कहा कि नए चुनाव के आधार पर जो उत्पन्न परिस्थिति होगी उसमें राज्यपाल किसे बुलाएगा, सिंगल लार्जेस्ट पार्टी को या नहीं, इस पर हम कोई विचार नहीं देते हैं. तो कल से जो मुंबई के निर्णय का राग गाया जा रहा है, तो मुझे लगा कि ये क्लैरिफिकेशन देना बहुत जरूरी है. अब हम दूसरी बात कहना चाहते हैं कि गवर्नर इस स्थिति में कैसे काम करे. इसमें 2 कमीशन के अनुशंसाएं हैं. एक है सरकारिया कमीशन और दूसरा है पुंछी कमीशन. सरकारिया कमीशन ने क्या कहा, पहले आपको हम वो पढ़ना चाहते हैं, और कोर्ट ने इसके बारे में क्या कहा ये हम कहना चाहते हैं. अभी मैं सरकारिया कमीशन पढ़ रहा हूं आपके सामने. If there is no such party, the governor should select a chief minister from among the following parties or group of parties by sounding them in.
Well, that was the Law Minister, Mr. Ravi Shankar Prasad, taking the time and the trouble out to read the various judgments in this particular case. But I just want to point out to our viewers what our panel is also discussing so clearly today. What Mr. Arimasundaram said at the beginning of the panel, you'll find out that there are various legal precedents for each argument, whether it's the Congress-JDS argument or the BJP argument. There's the Sarkaria committee, which the minister was just reading out, the Goa judgment, the Mumbai judgment, the R.K. Narayan judgment as well. There are various scenarios, and every scenario has played out. There's a precedence, it's happened before. Both arguments seem equal. The question really, where are the numbers going to come from? If Yediyurappa has been given 15 days, is 15 days one too many? And does that allow for horse trading? Is the first question. The second question is, where will he get those extra 7 MLAs without buying them? And is buying them really the ethical, moral, legal way to form a government? That's the question we are asking tonight here on Mirror Now, which we're going to come back after this very quick break and ask the question again. Remember, we're going right up till 11 o'clock tonight. We're going to find out how the BJP plans on making this government now. That's on the other side. Don't go anywhere.